Welcome back, Islanders. Today for our science experiment, we are going to do a shark float. Special design features that God gave sharks. The materials that you'll need is a very large, clear bowl, if you can. It's not necessary to be able to see through it, but especially for today, I want you guys to be able to see through it. You will need oil. You will need a permanent marker, and then 3 20-ounce, or these are actually 16.9 ounces of water. So just 3 water bottles. Now, in order to get prepped, we are going to do something to each of these bottles. The first bottle, we are going to actually remove the lid, and we are going to fill it all the way to the top with water. And it's a good thing we have another water bottle because we will use this to fill it. You're going to want to fill it all the way to the top, trying to allow no air in the water bottle. Then you're going to carefully put the cap back on. All right, so this is the first bottle. The second bottle, you are actually going to go ahead and dump half of it out. So we're going to want to bring the water to about halfway. And if you have your bowl here, you can just dump half of it in there. A little more. All right, that's good. See, I've got it about halfway. So that's your second bottle. And the third bottle, this is going to be a little bit trickier. You are actually going to dump all of the water out. And fill the entire bottle with oil. Hopefully I don't spill here. All right, it's filling up. Perfect. You can just recycle this bottle or throw it away, whatever your family does. And go ahead and put the cap back on this. Now, it's preferable that you fill it all the way to the top, but we did not have enough oil, so this will work just fine. All right. Now, the last thing we're going to do to prep is you are going to get your permanent marker, and we are going to actually turn these 3 bottles into something, and I'm going to tell you what. So the first bottle, the one that is all the way full, is actually going to be turned into a shark. So you're going to take this, and you're going to draw a shark on it. We'll give him kind of some mean eyes here. See a mean eye. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. We're gonna give him some teeth. If you can see the teeth. All right. And then we're going to give him a fin. I'll actually just draw it right here on the wrapping. But you can do these however you want, as long as you turn it into a shark, okay? And then the second bottle that we're going to focus on is the oil bottle, and you're actually going to turn this into a shark too. So go ahead and draw your mean eyes on there, okay? Mean eyes. And then your teeth. You can see my teeth. That's kind of like a happy shark though. And then the fin. Okay? And it's important that these are both sharks because we are going to talk about sharks in just a minute. Then the last bottle that we are going to do is the one that's half full of water and half full of air. And that one you're actually going to turn into a little fish. So I'm going to put scales all over him or her, whatever you decide you want your fishy to be. So I did some scales, if you can see that. We're going to give him almost like a little Nemo fin and some big happy eyes and a big mouth. So there's our little fish, if you can see. See his little fin right there, his eyes and mouth and his scales. All right, so that's our fishy. So did you know God in his perfection and wisdom designed every animal so creatively and perfectly? This includes sharks. Did you know sharks are actually considered to be fish? Can you think of any types of sharks? I'm going to give you a minute to talk amongst yourselves and kind of throw out some different sharks that you may know. Great job. Those were really good shark ideas. Now, let's talk about how God designed sharks so they don't sink. Sharks are what we call buoyant, meaning that they don't sink even though they're really heavy. Some great white sharks weigh as much as 7,000 pounds. Wow, that is really heavy. Actually, it's as heavy as a limo. Can you imagine if they all just sank to the bottom and weren't able to swim as easily through the ocean? Yikes. But they don't sink because even though they weigh a whole lot, God gave them 3 special design features to keep them afloat. First, they don't have bones. So feel your wrist. You can even feel your arm, your elbow, your fingers, that hard stuff in there. That is your bone right here. All throughout your body you have bones, but sharks do not have bones. God gave them something called cartilage, which is lighter than bone. Feel the tip of your nose. This is cartilage. Second, God gave sharks specially shaped fins and tails. The fins lift the sharks just like birds' wings lift the bird, while the tail helps push the shark through the water so that it doesn't sink. And third, God gave sharks a super special liver. Let's see how this liver works. So here's shark 1 that's completely full of water. Here's shark 2 that is completely full of oil. So what is shark 1 filled with? Water. And what is shark 2 filled with? Oil. Which shark out of these 2 do you think would float in our ocean? Go ahead and make guesses amongst yourself. Good. Now let's actually see what happens. Here's shark 1. Shark 1 sinks to the bottom. There is a small air bubble in there that's making him kind of want to come back up, but he is staying at the bottom. Great job. Now, let's try shark number 2. Wow, that is crazy. So why do you think the shark with oil floats? See, sharks have a big oily liver that helps them float. Their livers actually take up to 90% of the space in their body. And the liver can weigh as much as 1,000 pounds. That is crazy. In humans, the liver is the largest internal organ, but it's nowhere near as large as the sharks. Because oil is less dense than the water surrounding the shark, the oily liver helps them float. See, I can push it down. It's fighting me actually, and it pops right back up. Sharks also use their oily liver to help feed them on long journeys across the ocean. So, now let's check out the fish. This is our fish. He is half full of water and half full of air. We are going to go ahead and put him in here. Before I do, I want you to take a few guesses on what you think is going to happen. Great job. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. The fish is floating. So instead of having an oily liver, most fish have something called a swim bladder. And the swim bladder is filled with gas. Well, that's exactly what this air is. It's a gas. The swim bladder is like a big bubble of air that keeps the fish afloat. So as you think about sharks and other fish, keep in mind that God's design for you is also perfect. If you look in nature, everything around us has a perfect design and everything works together. God made you and his design for you just as perfect.